Good morning, Kabroda crew. Welcome back to our live stream. We're trying something different today. I'll be actually on the live stream today instead of my character. Um, just trying it out, seeing if it's any different. Trying to get some more people to check out our channel, hoping this will help. We're also going to start throwing some actual footage of us into the recaps and stuff like that. Just seeing if it helps us out, seeing if it maybe you guys like it better. I don't know. We will see. So yeah, that's a little different. Bitcoin, nice little up run here over the weekend. By the way, hopefully you all had a good Thanksgiving and a good Black Friday. I didn't do too much shopping personally, and nothing. Just the Black Friday deals just aren't as good as they used to be, So haven't really checked it out anytime recently. So I just kind of just left it, just a normal Friday, Cyber Monday deals, same thing, just not really that good, honestly. Like they're not that much different. So I don't know. You have to let me know what you think in the chat. See what you guys think about Black Friday. But honestly, it's just it's just another one of those days. Nothing really going on. Just a normal Friday, really. Honestly, the only difference is I wouldn't want to go into town just because it's like so many people and like stores are kind of crowded and stuff. And really, last time I went to Black Friday, it wasn't really like that. So I don't know. Maybe we just haven't been in a while, but yeah, they're just not as good deals anymore. So I just feel like nobody goes. I don't know. Let me know what you think. We're gonna jump on in here, get our battle box set up for today. Good morning, Dawson. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Spirit Maker. Hopefully y'all are having a good day. Yeah, I agree, Spirit Maker. That's what they do. They either jack up the prices, put them on sale, back at like literally the prices they already were, or they just sell you like a cheap version of whatever for Black Friday. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, we'll jump into this here, get our levels set up. These are all from yesterday, so you don't want to pay attention to those. But we'll get us set up here a little bit. Right now, you can see we're still kind of in that drop, and then a little bit of almost a pattern forming here, going to the upside and kind of forming this little bearish wedge. So we'll see if we get a breakdown there. We're gonna have to dive into it a little bit deeper than that just to see what's going on. It does look like we did get a nice pattern here, honestly, after this dropout. And when was this? Sunday? So after that dropout, we did get this nice pattern that we talk about a lot here on the channel. This, I don't even remember. Some people I know call it like a shark fin, but basically it's a come down. You come down right here. It creates a really low on the RSI, and then you see a lower low here, and a higher low here on the RSI. So basically, that's telling us that we're getting a breakdown pattern. Typically what you'll see though is you'll see it come up like this, like it did, and then you'll see it retrace back to the 786, which probably be around here somewhere. They call it the golden pocket, 786, 618, that kind of area. If you don't know what I'm talking about Fibonacci levels. We do have a video on our channel covering those, but essentially it's just this tool over here on the left. Third one down from the crosshairs, click over, and then it's just this fib retracement levels. You can just click on the bottom and then the top of the levels, and as you can see on mine right now, you got the 618 here in green and the 786 in purple. Yours will probably be different colors. I think I've messed with mine quite a bit, so I don't know. You have to check it out, but that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the golden pocket there. We're not going to have that on there, though. We're just going to jump straight into getting our battle box set up. Honestly, not a whole lot going on here. But yeah, we'll jump in that battle box. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch on over to my GPT here. You can check it out in the description below for completely free if you want to, but this is just our Battle Box AI. It's the AI that we developed so you guys could learn how to trade better and just be more advanced traders, or just kind of learn different terms, or really just use it for setting up for today. But basically what we can do here is we can just set up our daily market review, which is just kind of like an overall recap of today. And then we can kind of see what we want to trade based off of that. So we'll go ahead and just click on this first option here, and that'll get it started for us. Sometimes when the update, like when GPT updates here, it will do something weird when you click on the first option, but if you go ahead and just talk to it, just ask a couple questions, basically you just ask it for what do I need to give you to set up the daily market recap, and it will kind of help you out, and it'll eventually turn around and look like what I have here with the different time frames here that it needs, FRVP levels, ranges, and also the different optional things you can put on here, like bookmap, the weekly FRVPs, and the macro news summary. We have a little bit of coffee there. All right. So what I'm actually going to grab for it, and it's not on this list, but I'm going to grab the fear and greed index for it real fast. So we're going to go ahead and open up Google here, and just give me a second here. Open up Google, and we are going to check out the fear and greed index. Coin market cap, that's what you want. And we're just going to screenshot this whole section here. So the CMNC, our CMC crypto fear and greed index, and you're just going to screenshot all the way down to this bottom corner here. And what I like to do is just hit Shift, Windows key, and S all together, and then I'll turn on my snippet tool. You could also find this inside of Windows. So if you just check out the search option down here and type in snippet, same tool. It's just the speed key to open the tool. Basically what that does though is it'll take a screenshot for us, and then we can just go back to our GPT here and just press Control V, and that'll just paste it right into there. And then the next thing we'll grab is also on Google, so that's gonna be our weekly news. So basically we'll go back to our Google here. Gonna open it up a new tab, and we're gonna search up cryptocraft.com, and it should look something like this whenever you get it open. You can see all the news for December all down through here. There's a bunch of different yellow and red and blue, not blue, yellow, red, and orange little spaceship type things here. And those are basically telling you what the impact is. But we're going to want to go ahead and go to today. So today's the 2nd. Obviously, you can already see on here. But whenever it gets farther into the month, you'll just want to use it like this. So go to the left side and just click on today's date, so the 2nd, and then it will open up a section with just the date that you want. So you can see here now we got just the December 2nd, and we got the different time frames here for when news is and how impact they all are and what the news actually is. And then over here you got a bunch of different statistics. If you're into that, you can go ahead and check those out. You got the forecast of what they think is going to happen with the news, and then what the actual forecast or what the actual event ended up bringing out. So you can check out those, follow them if you really want to. Honestly, all we use this for is these impacts here. So we'll look this up, check out the dates or the time, sorry, and then we're going to go over here to the impact and see how the impact is. So for today, there's nothing really to worry about. You got a low impact at 9, a low impact at 4, and a low impact at 6:30 p.m. So honestly, nothing crazy. You really only want to worry about whenever they're orange or red. Um, then we'll change it up there. We'll actually wait probably like 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after to kind of see how the news is actually going to affect the market. But for today, we'll just screenshot this little section here and grab our news, and we don't really have to worry about it too much. You always want to kind of look at it before you throw it into there. Price action wants to test that 1 hour 200. Yeah, we'll have to chuck that out, Maker. We're going to jump into the charts here in a little bit, and we'll check that out. All right, so now we got our first two screenshots here. So we got our fear and greed, and we also got our other one, which is our news events. And now we're going to go ahead and get some different screenshots with the time frames, and then we'll go into the FRBP, which is probably the more hard thing to do on the recap, or the DMR, sorry, here. So we're going to go ahead and grab the screenshots first. So we'll head to our we'll head to our trading view charts here, and we're going to go to the 4 hour to start out with. And the 4 hour, nice and simple. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and take this off real fast. Take this off. And basically what we're going to do here on the 4 hours, we're going to zoom out a little bit, double click on it. That way it's set to auto. So the chart's just kind of framed in as best as TradeView thinks it can be. And then we'll do that for all of our indicators as well, just auto them all. And then what we have to do is just screenshot your entire screen. And then we'll just throw that into our GPT here. So it should look like something like that whenever you get done with it. And we'll just go through the list doing all of them like that. So we got 4 hour, we're going to go to 1 hour next. Same thing, you should already have everything all autoed. It shouldn't change after you've done it once. Throw it in there. 15 minutes next. It's not too hard. Takes a little bit of time. Once you get used to it, though, honestly, it's pretty easy, pretty fast. Probably could get a full DMR set up in 15 minutes or so. Honestly, it doesn't take that long. Probably even less than that, really. That'd be a slow time for me for sure. So we got our 4 screenshots in there, and then the next thing we're going to get is our FRVP levels here on the chart. So we'll be on the 1 hour for this, but we're going to type some stuff into our GPT here before we go and jump into our charts and grab the levels there. So what I like to type in is FRVP levels, just so the Battle Box knows what I'm talking about. Level. I don't know. Forgot how to spell levels. There we go. And then we're going to go down, and I'm going to do 24 hour, and then volume area high, point of control, and volume area low. And then we'll do the morning ones the same way. So morning, volume area high, point of control, and volume area low. And these will give us just spots to put into our different levels into. And we're also going to throw in a 30-minute chart. Oh, sorry. We'll just do 30-minute. Oh, dang. And if you accidentally send it like that, it happens to me a lot, honestly, especially on the live for whatever reason. You can just go ahead and copy and paste them back in here. It actually won't make you a DMR or anything until you've gotten all the levels in here. So it'll save that other stuff you've already done, so you don't have to worry about that. Just go ahead and copy it into there, and just make sure you're pressing shift and enter before you hit enter. If you hit enter by itself, it'd end up sitting it in just like it just did. So you want to hit shift and enter. And we'll do 30-minute, and then we'll do high. And you can say 30-minute chart, it really doesn't matter. High and low. There we go. And then now we have to do is just input the different levels here. So we'll head back to our trading view charts here. And the way that we get these levels is pretty simple as well. So we're going to go from the crosshair here down 1, 2, 3, 4, and click that over button here. And then we're going to go down to fixed range volume profile. Just like that. And this is the tool we're going to use. Super easy to use. You're just going to go from yesterday. So yesterday is Monday. So we'll go from 6 to 6 today. So 6 o'clock Monday, or 6 o'clock previous day to 6 o'clock today. And that is 12 to 12 UTC. So if you want to figure that out in your own time zone, that's what it is. Here in Texas, we're in -6. So that will be a negative. That'll just be 6 to 6. Pretty simple. Yeah, you can figure out what your levels are there. Next thing you're going to want is a couple of different lines. So I already have mine on here. These are going to be our 24-hour FRVP levels. So basically what we'll do is we'll draw lines on here. So if you don't already have these lines, you can just hit Alt and J, and that'll give you the same ray that I have here. You can also hit Alt H, I believe it is. That gives you a horizontal line. And you can use one of those too. Or you can just go grab them out of the tool over here and grab whichever one you want. Once you get it on there, just go ahead and edit it however you like. We do have videos on our channel covering that if you do not know how to do that. Basically, just edit it, make it look like you want, just so you know what it is, you know what you're looking at. And you'll probably use these about every day if you are using our battle box. And then you're just going to drag and drop them just like I did. So volume area high is going to be on red, POC is going to be on yellow, and volume area low will be on blue. And I'm going to do that again with the warning levels. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop the back end here to a different time. So instead of 6 to 6, it's now going to be 2 to 6. So we're going to go 2 o'clock this morning to 6 o'clock. And for UTC, that'll be 8 to 12. So same thing, we'll turn on my lines I already have on here. And I'm just going to drag and drop. So red is your volume area high. Yellow is going to be your POC. And blue will be your volume area low. There we go. So that's kind of what they look like there. We got all of our different levels there. All of them on there. Nice and easy. Pretty simple. Now all we're going to have to do is go ahead and input them into our GPT. And the easiest way to do that is go ahead and open up your object tree. So I have it over here on the right of my screen. It's just these squares over on the very far right. You'll see a couple different tools. You'll see your watch list. More than likely, if you haven't messed with it, your watch list will actually be open. So you're just going to want to go from that watch list tab down to the boxes. That'll be your object tree and data window. We'll open up the object tree and we'll just find our 6 different lines on here. And if you just double click on the lines there, and you can also change the name in here. If you double click, you can change the name to whatever. So I already know which ones are mine, but I'm going to just go down the list and double click and grab the coordinates out of here. So the coordinates, you're just going to go to the coordinates tab, and then you'll just grab them right out of here. Typically they'll already be highlighted, and once you do that once, you can just double click and copy after each time. So we got that first coordinates of the volume area high. We'll throw those in there. Same thing, and you can see there I double clicked. It's already open on the coordinates tab. I'll just copy it there. If you don't use the editing stuff very often, you honestly could just leave it on there. That's kind of how it happens for me. It just kind of gets left on the coordinates tab. I never really change it off of it. So I just have to double click on it all the time to grab the coordinates. And we're just going to go down the list doing the same thing for every single line that we have. So that's 5. And last one here. Boom. And the last thing that we need to do now is we need to grab the 30-minute chart here. So basically what we're going to do is just look at the 30-minute chart. We're going to grab a specific candle and we're going to get the high and the low from it. Today's candle will be at 6:30, so 12:30 UTC. Head back to our chart here, and we can turn these off just so you don't have to look at them while we're doing this. Basically, we'll head to that 30-minute, go to find our 6:30 candle for today, and then you can hover over it, and then at the top of your screen there'll be the high and the low. You'll see a little H and a little L. The numbers next to them will be the high and the low. But the easier way that I found to do it is just go over to your object tree here. So we already have our object tree open, right? We'll just go over here, click on data window, and we're just going to go ahead and grab the high and the low out of there. So we'll hover over our candle, and you can see our high is going to be 87,513. So go back here and we'll type it in. And honestly, you could put a line here as well if you just want to copy and paste it. Just throw a line at the high and a line at the low, and you can just copy and paste it. I just find it easier to type them in. Our low is going to be 87,165. 7,165. And that's it for our different levels on the chart. So now we have all of our screenshots. We got our news, and we also got our fear and greed, and then we got all of our different levels here in the second chat, because I did end up setting them a little too early. So we'll go ahead and send them in and see what the battle box has to say about today. Grab a little coffee here while we wait. Oh, it's nice to have some coffee in the morning when you're getting the charts ready. Here we go. All right, so interesting. It's actually giving me, so typically whenever you make one of these, you'll see a little bit more of the top thing here. You'll see kind of the time frames kind of separated out a little bit more. It is AI, so it's going to be a little different each time, but this time it decided to kind of like clump them all together. And you can see like it still says like 4 hour does this, 1 hour does this, 15.5 do this. But it's just not as separated as it normally is. So we're going to switch up how we typically do it. We'll just go ahead and read this, and then we'll kind of run through the time frames doing some TA. But yeah, we'll start off with that so you can kind of get a idea of what the battle box says versus what we're kind of looking at. Typically they line up pretty good, but just how it looks. So you can see it's got the fear and greed on here. You got key levels on here. Some support and resistance checking. Strategy outlook, so things to watch for. News events. This is where you'll check it out. If you didn't already look at your screenshot. I like to look at the screenshot first just because sometimes the battle box reads the different colors, because orange, yellow, and red are pretty close, honestly. Like, especially the orange and the yellow, they're not super different. So sometimes it has a little trouble differentiating the two. You got execution considerations, weekly zone references, and then YAML key levels. And that's kind of the DMR. So what we're going to do though is, like I said, read this and then we'll go ahead and jump into the chart. So BTC is attempting an intraday recovery after a sharp downside extension yesterday. The 4 hour shows price retesting underside EMAs after a deep sell-off, while the 1 hour momentum flipped bearish with a clean reclaim of the short-term MAs and rising MACD. The 15 and 5 minute show accelerating bullish momentum with strong pushes through intraday moving averages, signaling buyers attempting to shift control after extreme sentiment readings. Overall, short-term momentum equals bullish recovery, and the HTF trend is pressured macro volatility. The risk is elevated, I guess. So that's kind of what we're looking at. That's the basic summary. We're going to dive in, do a little more in depth here with some actual TA, but you can go ahead and just sit back, relax, chart along with me if you're interested in doing that. We're going to start off with the 4 hour here. Spirit Maker says he likes my hat. Thanks, Spirit Maker. Got it at Sendero a little bit ago. Alright, let's jump into this thing. So like I said, we got that. Where is that dip? That'd be right here. Overall, on the 4 hour, we're actually not seeing that same pattern that I was talking about. So this is the same thing as on the 1 hour. You can see, so on the 1 hour, we had a strong downtrend and then that dip and then a deeper dip. And I was saying, oh, the RSI, you could see the dip, and then on the next one, instead of being lower, it was actually higher on the next low. So we actually got a different trend. So we had a downtrend on the chart and an uptrend on the RSI. Obviously for this chart though, it is the same. We got a downtrend and a downtrend. So we don't see that pattern playing out on this longer time frame like that. That's honestly not a huge deal. It just shows that there's not that like combined confirmation that that's what we're doing, you know. So right now we're retesting the 4 hour 21 right now. We are below the 21 and 200, which general rule of thumb for us, that typically means that the chart is more bearish right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. RSI, you can see, is starting to get a little bit flat, looking to roll over here. We actually we're quite bearish on that whole up run here, so kind of interesting, kind of weird. We did get the cross 1 or 2 candles ago, and if we get this break of the 21, I suspect we'll get this curl here and we'll start to see RSI pump up, which could get us a little bit of a run. Maybe not super long term, but a longer term, I guess, than typically what we play. So we'll see kind of how that chart handles that. Down here you can see the stochages are also on the rise. Honestly, stochages is not something we look at on the longer time frames. Say that pretty much every live, but that's true. That's what we're looking for. So yeah, honestly, those aren't a huge deal. Good whenever they're with the other stuff, but honestly, it's not something I look at for when I'm trying to decide if the chart's going to go up or down. On the 4 hour at least. So heading to the 1 hour here, we're actually in the middle of both our moving averages. The 200 is sitting pretty close to where that 4 hour 21 is. So if you remember, the 4 hour 21 was about where this purple line is here. So about there, and get rid of this. So if we go back to the 4 hour, you can see that's exactly where the 4 hour 21 is. So not far above it is the 200 for the 1 hour. So honestly, that could be the test of the 200 that Spirit Maker was talking about a little bit earlier. That was the grab. We could honestly see a spike up and then a break back down. We still didn't technically break the moving average or the support and resistance, but we did kind of hit it, spike through it, grab some liquidity, and then come back down and close below it. Could happen. We'll have to really just wait and see what this candle does, honestly, but that is a possibility there. So you could see a spike above the 200. But as of right now, the 1 hour is kind of in that neutral state, just based off that it's between the 200 and the 21. The 21 is kind of getting that curl to the upside. That's a bull move that we sometimes look for with a little bit of a bull flag kind of forming here. If you kind of extend the 200 and the 21, you get kind of this flag forming. So you could see price action kind of just bounce around in here and then break out. We'll have to see how strong the 21 can hold the chart. As of right now, we're kind of just getting that retest of the 200. MACD is firing. They actually just kind of refired after a little bit of loss of momentum. We did get most of our move already, so will we continue? It's possible we could see another break up and another move kind of happen, just like this one. But as of this second, I don't know. We'll have to kind of watch. As for RSI, we're getting that curl to the upside. So you can see this yellow kind of coming up, breaking above that 50 line. The slow or the fast moving average is breaking up as well. So we're kind of headed for that overbought range, but we're not quite there yet. So we still got a little bit of room to go up on the RSI before we see that curl over. Could it curl over here? Yes, but more than likely we'll see a little bit more of that up run there. As for the stoaches, they are topped out right now, so we're in that overbought range. They're looking for us to curl over. Like I said, though, not huge fan of the stoaches on the longer time frames, so will that make us curl over? No, probably not. It's not really something that I would look at and be like, oh man, we're definitely going to curl over. It's more of if the other indicators are saying that, then that's kind of a good confirmation, but they're obviously not. Like you can see RSI still has room to go up, MACD has room to go up, so we're looking more up for that chart. Will we continue past the 200? Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the next couple candles go. Heading to the 15. We already got our break on the 15 above our 200 here. See, kind of made that 15 or that 21 and the 200 flag here, with the 200 coming down and the 21 coming up here. With that kind of bounce around into the range, and then you can see us fire out of it. That's kind of the flag I was talking about. That's just kind of how the moving averages work. It's almost a better flag because you know it's there. It's not just like when you just draw a flag and it's just kind of depends on, oh, well, I see this and you see that, and kind of makes it hard to trade off of. But if you have the moving averages forming a flag, then you know there's some support and resistance right there for sure. So it is forming there. Yeah, so we got that break off of there out of the 200. We're still seeing some momentum here on the MACD. RSI is showing that we are getting ready to curl over, at least for a small pullback here before possible continuation up again. At least on the RSI, we're going to pull back and retest this to this slower moving average. And then possibly break back up again. But we could also get that breakthrough and then see the 20 or the slower moving average curl over, this yellow slower moving average curl over. As for stoaches, we are topped out as well, so that's another indicator telling us that this little pullback that I was talking about is actually just going to be more of a down run. So we'll break back through the 200 and continue down. It's kind of what it's looking like based off of the different indicators. MACD will also more than likely turn with the other two. These are kind of telling us we're getting to that point where we're ready to go back down. Like I said, though, we could get that spike because there is some resistance here, so we could see that spike up 89.5 or so before we turn around and continue down. Heading back to the 5 minute here. 5 minutes, same way, way overbought. You could see the slower moving average is actually out of the range here on RSI. As for the stoaches, we're just flatlining like at max stoaches, so we're ready to go back down. Oops. We're ready to go back down. MACD is losing some of its momentum here. Honestly, it's not completely ready to go back down, but it more than likely will go back down pretty soon here. Yeah. Overall, that's kind of what we're looking at for the chart. Not a lot of patterns kind of forming here. One thing to note too is we are above the 5,221. So honestly, we are more bullish on the 5 minute, more bullish on the 15. Just overall, I guess, not necessarily like every second we're going to be bullish. Like I said, it could go down right now. It's just if we're looking for some trades in here, we're going to be looking more on that bullish side rather than that bearish side. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at overall for today. More honestly, it kind of depends on which way we go here. If we get that break and retest, we could continue up, honestly. But more than likely, we're going to get that breakdown. So we're looking for the breakdown below the 21 and 200 here, and then continuation down. Our zones are all down here, so we kind of got that breakout already. So that would have been a good one to jump into this morning if you were watching it. Jump into that up trade there. But honestly, I didn't get into it. Wasn't jumping on that. So if we see that retrace back down, it would have been hard to, honestly, too, just because you never really got that like big pullback. You got the 2 candle close, and you could have jumped in here technically off the trade, but you never really got that pullback down. So we're kind of looking for that pullback back into our different levels here, different support and resistances with the volume area high and volume area low, and then we'll look for that breakdown and 2 candle close on the 15 and retest. Spirit Maker is already in the up trade. Nice. Yeah, so that would have been a good trade. Honestly, that was a good idea. Just kind of have to watch it here to see what it does, see if we get that break up or not. But if you're following our system, then jump out, break that 200, and jump in. Yeah. So you get that retrace back down here to the 5 minute 21 and the break through it, and then that's where you're gonna want to just get out of your trade. Honestly though, right now you pretty much be making money either way, even if you get that retrace back down. Will you make as much as if you just pulled it this second? No, but it could continue up. Like I was saying, we could get that spike up. Get to close above here, retest our level here at 88.7 or so. I believe we also we're close to that 1 hour, but not quite there. So I don't know. We'll see. We have to get that break, close, and retest of this 88.7 level. Honestly, it'd even be nice to get above the 21 or the 200 at 89 on the 1 hour. But we'll see if we can do that. For right now, though, the up trade is the trade to take. That was the trade that's set up this morning. That's the way to do it. So good job for Spirit Maker jumping in there. Other than that, that's kind of it. We can go ahead and jump back into our GPT and throw on a battle plan. But it's honestly not too much different than what we've already said. We'll kind of check it out. Just to keep it consistent. But I'm sure that's what it's going to be talking about. Set it up here. All right. So this is kind of what our battle plan looks like. If you've never seen one before, basically we just got some different zones, different things to watch out for. What trades you are possible here? What trades are not really in the cards? That kind of thing. All for educational purposes only, by the way. But they are on here, just in case you want to check them out. So we got the breakout here confirmed. So that's kind of the move that we're in right now. But if we do end up breaking down, it's got a trade here for you. It's saying watch out for the long into 89.2. So that was kind of the 1 hour 200 that we were talking about. Do not short into 85. Same thing. Avoid trading inside the 86 and 87.7 unless you're scalping. Avoid taking new positions during blah 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 speeches. That's not necessarily true. So, like we always say, like the spirit anchor move just stopped break even. Nice. Basically, I don't know. Like you always want to check the battle box as it's telling you. It's not gonna like trade for you. The whole idea is just that it'll kind of teach you and help you to learn how to kind of like see the markets and be able to kind of read them and use them for yourself. But honestly, it's not like it's not just a bot that you can just use to like tell you like predict the future, if that makes sense. So there are some things you kind of gotta like watch out for. Like right now, it's worried about the speeches today, but as we looked at, we're like, oh, it's just yellow, so that's not something we really have to worry about. So honestly, it's just some things you kind of have to like fact check it every once in a while. But honestly, overall, great. It's a great AI that to use and kind of use as if you use it the way that it's intended, it really helps you kind of figure out what you want to do for the day, and also helps you kind of see those opportunities. Yeah. So really not a whole lot. We'll see if we get that reversal back into price action here, back into where we want it. See if we're gonna have to get that break below the 5 and the 15 200s and 21s before we can really take a trade to the downside. But that's kind of what we're waiting for. As if you got into that up trade, nice job. I would be watching that right now, see if we get this break of this level, and then you could take it up a little bit to that 1 hour 21 or 1 hour 200. But honestly, overall, that's kind of the trade for today, unless we get that breakdown, and then we'll be looking at that breakdown trade. So hopefully y'all are doing well. Hopefully you had a good Black Friday. We do have a recap coming out at 10, and like I said, we're changing it up a little bit. So if you didn't like our old recaps, go ahead and check our new one out, see if you like it better. Let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it, maybe see if we want to alter it a little bit farther. But that's kind of the recap or the idea right now. They're only going to get better from here, so check those out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe so we can get our channel out to more people. And yeah, we will catch y'all tomorrow. So hopefully y'all have a good one, and we will see y'all then. Happy trading, y'all.